So skimming through Twitter, there's this guy named Tom Sherman who posted a really interesting topic about React server components using this new server actions approach, where basically your like credentials could be leaked if you do some type of scoping like this. If you have like a closure, I guess I should say. And I didn't fully understand it. I was reading through it. I'm like, I don't really understand like what's getting leaked here. So I actually, pulled up a project and I tried to do my own thing to try to like make sure I understood this. So I just want to kind of walk you all through that in case you all were curious, like what the heck this is actually talking about, because it wasn't really intuitive to me, because I don't really pay attention to how a lot of this stuff is going on. But basically, I'm using Next with the app router, and I have a page. All right, and all this page does is it displays a form, and when you click it, it calls a server action over here. Okay, so let's just go over here. Now we'll go ahead and click submit. And notice that this does a post request to the same URL that we're on. And it sends over a payload of whatever's in the form, right? So we see test here, pretty cool. We also see an action ID. I believe Next uses this to figure out what server action function you're trying to call. So I'm guessing it's somehow it maps this function to this ID. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong about anything I say in this channel. So looking at this thing, it's kind of a convoluted example, but if you're using something like Amazon and then you're integrating with their service, AWS Secrets Manager, when your page loads for the first time, sometimes there'll be secrets that you have to fetch from like AWS Secret Manager, right? This is a service that basically keeps track of all your secrets and allows your Lambda functions to call them to figure out what the value of those secrets are. Now, what would you use these secrets to do? Well, you use them to connect to a database. You'd use them to sign a JWT token, etc., like that. You'd probably say get secret here, and this could connect to a secret manager and return you a secret value. And then you can use that secret over here to basically do some computation, connect to a database, whatever. And then you basically get that data and you can render it out. And now I'm not doing all that in this function. I just want to show you like the potential security vulnerability by simply like putting this in a closure. But notice here that basically when you click the form, it calls do something. We pass this secret into do something. Technically, this thing could connect to a DB using the secret. Or technically, this could actually just fetch the secret here. That'd probably be the safest approach, to be honest. But just so I can demo this vulnerability, I'm just going to do it like this. So notice if I were to load up my terminal and I go back to my app and I click submit, notice that it says we are doing something here with the secret. Okay. But let's say you decide that you wanted to actually like, instead of having to pass this secret here, let's say you actually wanted to just say, okay, well, I could just put a closure here, right? I could just put a closure so that I don't have to do all this like hacky logic. And I could just have this secret completely accessible right here, right? Because due to the closure, I have access to secret, right? So I can kind of refactor this code a little bit. I'll save it. So it's the same code, but we just basically are using the closure so we have access to the secret so that we don't have to like refetch it every time or do whatever. So I'm actually going to console log this. And again, this secret should only ever console log on the back end. It should never console log on the front end. And let's go back to our front end code. Let's refresh. I'll just type in like Bob and click submit. And notice that in the console, it doesn't print out the secret anywhere, which is good. There's a giant warning. I don't know what that warning's from. But if we look at the network request, this is where stuff gets a little scary. If you look down here, you will see our secret password. I probably should have named it something better, but that's it right there. That's the secret password that was returned from your secret manager. And we basically, anyone who's using your UI can just go in here, look at the post request, and all that information has been exposed across the payload that's being sent to the backend. Now, my secret key, no one in the UI should see. Let me just do this again so like it makes more sense when I'm demoing this. This should not show anywhere in your front end, right? No one should be able to look at your network tab and see that the secret key is right here that can connect to your Mongo database or your Postgres database. This is bad. So why does this happen? Again, I'm not an expert at Next or React. I'm just trying to like use my intuition of what might be happening. But when you do that post request, like when that server action fires, somehow the backend needs to be able to like recompute all of the state that was in this function so that when it tries to run your server action here, it knows what secret is. Because if it didn't have like a way to reevaluate like what this closure is and what all these variables are, then like this could never work, right? So I think they're doing some smart stuff to basically look at the closure, look at the variables that are like accessible to that function, and then basically send them across the wire as like hidden input fields on your form post request. So that's the interesting thing. I think Theo also like responded to this and like pointed out that like this is kind of sketch. I'll probably end up making a video about this too, so let's see if I beat him to it. But yeah, I just, you know, I read through the tweet. I didn't understand what the heck they're talking about, so I had to like dive into it and really understand. So the key takeaway is if you're using server actions, which is something that is in alpha, I should say. So like, don't look at this and be like, oh, we should never use server actions. You should never use it in production anyway, because it's an alpha version of a feature, okay? So if you're looking at this and be like, oh man, this is scary, my suggestion would be make sure that your server code is actually running on the server. So like I would fetch this secret here and then you have no issues, right? Don't do anything silly like I just did. Make sure that your code is like a separate function. Probably you want to make it like a pure function as well, so that it's not doing any type of closure state that it has access to. Notice that when I submit it, there's like nothing that's sent over to the wire anymore. It's just the input that was typed in. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm not a security expert, but I just thought it was nice to kind of dive deeper into understanding how this stuff really works and maybe share something with you all who are watching. If you enjoyed watching this, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, press the bell icon, and like always, I have a Discord channel. You're welcome to join if you want to find a place to hang out or just ask questions to other developers. Other than that, have a good day and happy coding.